Up, I guess, today, but I kind of went in my locker and it was cold, so I needed some sleeves. And this with my wife, I guess she was down in the locker room today. This week's game was a little bit disappointing. I think the biggest disappointment was we went on the road, we played against a team that we played with, that we were comparable to, and then we turned the ball over, and we let the ball get over the top of our heads for the first time in a while. We've been keeping everything in front of us, but now this one kind of got away from us. I thought Memphis prepared well. I thought they had a nice crowd. I mean, I was shocked at the crowd because I've gone to some of those games and I thought they were into it. I think early on they got into it because we kind of turned the ball over early. But we did run the ball well, back in the back end, the secondary for the most part, besides the big plays we gave up, which was uncharacteristic of us. We playing well back there. These freshmen, Lorenzo Doss, he's in the tops of the conference in interceptions. Darian Monroe, he's leading one of the top leaders in picking and fumbles, and Jordan Baptiste is in the top pass breakups. Thought Griff had a decent game. He could play better, but he did make some throws. And the receivers played pretty decent too. And we ran the ball better. Any questions?
Please raise your hand if you've got a question.
I do. I know Griff with 3 interceptions is uncharacteristic a little bit of him. Was some of that, was that him having a bad day, not, having seen the game with eyeballs? It's kind of hard to tell whether maybe there were some protection issues or what was going on there for him to have that kind of day.
One of the things that they did that I thought they had a good scheme where they put out their biggest defensive lineman, their nose guard, against our center, who's a smaller type guy, and they just kept guys in his face. It's the same thing when Drew Brees, when he'll have problems is when these big interior guys are always in his face. I thought they did a good job doing that, and so that may have been a cause of it, but I thought he would play better, and he played good now. But he's been playing like Superman the last couple of weeks, and you grow to expect that out of him. And sometimes he didn't have one of those Superman kind of games. He probably had a Spider-Man game.
CJ, follow up on talk about Griffin. It's senior day. He's the first-time head coach. What's it mean to you? And then secondly, Griffin has made such a difference once he's gotten back in the line.
Senior day, and I listen to these programs around the country, these first-year coaches, kind of get on their seniors a little bit, but I have the total different way of thinking about these seniors. These seniors are very special. They come in a difficult time. We've had a lot of adversity throughout this whole year. They're seniors. We didn't finish this thing like we wanted to, and I think these guys have been magnificent. They've been character, good kids. They've given it all. They still out there practicing hard. They're trying to win a game. They're doing what we asked for. The seniors are never late. They always grades. Everything that these seniors mean to this program. They just a special group. I think Ryan has, been, everything you could ever ask for in a quarterback. I wish I had him another year. It was unfortunate that he went out early, but he's been playing at a terrific pace, and he's a better human being than he is a player. He reminds me a lot of Drew, but I think Ryan's arm strength is good enough. I think he can read defenses. He'll get us in the right plays, and then he's around the building. He's a coach around the building. He does it in the right way. So he's a guy that I just want his career to extend as long as we could get it to.
CJ, could I follow through? Could you just project him out of college football into the combine and all that stuff?
Here's what I think he can do well and better than most. I think when you put a defense in front of him, I think he could get you into the right play, and that's half of the stuff. That's half of the battle, I think, in the NFL. And then being in this offense, just the kind of offense that we're in, that he can really, I think he can excel. I'm just, like I said, I wish we had more time with him, but I'm just eager to see what's going to happen next for him, and I think it'll be all good. Well, I just didn't expect to have, so many players out of the program and to have a traumatic injury as we did. And, we went through a little bit of a lull, but then all of a sudden these guys kind of woke up and then they just begin to fight back, and they begin to fight back. I never, Coming into here, I never would have expected the fight, the willingness to put it on the line week in and week out. I mean, we got guys like Austin Jacks who's been hurt for weeks and weeks. He has no reason to, if I was him, I'd say, okay, I'm gonna let my body heal a couple of weeks, and I'm not gonna play, and then I'm gonna come back the last 4 or 5 games. He's been every week. Eric Jones, I mean, it's been every week that these guys have just fought and just very competitive, and the positive attitude around the building. I just wouldn't have believed it.
Coach, I got a two-part question. First of all, when you talk to recruits, does the issue come on? I guess it does about the new stadium, on campus. Wondering what kind of feedback you're getting on that. And secondly, the issue of being Conference USA. Do you address that with them? Do you get feedback from the recruits about that?
You know what? Here's the thing that I'm getting from the recruits. I'm getting more. The stadium is a big issue. It's almost like it's just a little added thing that they starting to get a feel for. Okay, so you're telling me I can walk out of class and I can go right to practice. I can walk out of class and I can come right. I can get out of bed and I can go right to the game. My parents can really come in every game. They can see my professors. It's not, so they kind of getting a little bit excited about this thing is going to be us and it's going to be new, and it's because me, I get into it with them. I say, hey, look, it's going to smell new. I mean, everything about it is going to be new. It's going to look new. It's going to smell new. You're going to feel new. It's going to be, and so when you talk about newness, they begin to love it. And then, being in the conference, I think, I use the analogy. When I was at the University of Idaho, and from a player all the way up until I think when I got to the Saints, we beat Boise State, the University of Idaho. If you can look it up, beat Boise State like 14, 15 years in a row. All of a sudden, Boise got their players. And then now, Boise, I remember a couple years ago, they go and they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. So I think we have the right talent. I think we got the right chemistry down here in Louisiana. I think this school is perfect to come to because it's second to none. We can say what we want. We compare educations now. This is the school to go to. 20 years from now, this is the school that I would want to graduate from. So, you just got all these combinations. Now all we got to do is put the product on the field. Well, they're beginning to see these freshmen take off, and these freshmen are playing, and all these receivers and these linemen and stuff, they're beginning to look at us and saying, you guys are doing some of the same stuff as the Saints are doing. This may be interesting. I can see myself fitting into this. So, and those pictures are being painted, and they are receptive to it.
Along the conference lines, what conference do you think Tulane should be in long term?
Well, right now, I think the best conference, I think, is the conference that we're in because I think we'll be competitive. I think we'll win in this conference. I think there are some local and recruiting advantages from where this conference is going to. I don't know if we want to be in a conference that you got to go far off from because you want to be identified with your opponents. When we go to Texas or when we go to Florida, wherever we go, we want to say that, hey, look, this is you're gonna be able to come here and you're gonna be able to play and you're gonna be able to play against that team that didn't want you in your state or that you chose over this. So this conference, I think the conference right now is perfect. The thing that you got to do is, I think, from a head coach, you just got to win some games. You'll be on TV a little bit more, and then you become a national. And then 5, 6, 10 years down the line, you can say, well, hey, maybe we could move into a different conference, or we can up this conference. But I like the conference we're in now.
The division that you could be in looks like you're going to be using some light foes. Your feelings on that? It doesn't look like Rice,
What happens is you just begin as you go on. Years ago the NFL split, and the rivalry was the Saints and the 49ers when I was growing up. Now all of a sudden it's Atlanta. Atlanta was a rivalry. Now we got Tampa. So you just kind of feel the flavor of your opponent. And once you just feel in your flavor of your opponent, you understand that their likes and their dislikes and what they do have and what they don't have. So you just kind of recruit to that. And so I just think, it doesn't matter as of right now. You just got to feel what this thing going to turn into and who you competing with, and you just recruit to those things.
My question here is, you're at the point of this season where maybe your head is about spinning some. It's been a crazy, no question about it, perhaps the toughest first 9 months on the job of any. I mean, when you think about it as a first-year coach, think about some of the experiences that you've been through. Has this
Well. I think this. I think if you'd have told me all the stuff that went on would have gone on, especially with Devin, I think I would have said, I don't believe this will ever happen. Just that experience alone been really tough on I know the football team, but me just personally, I mean, it's like it's like a son. It's like a good friend. So yeah, it's still, I'm very prayerful for him, all the time, even walking, sometime riding my bike, I think of him often. I pray for him a lot. But the thing is, we have some challenges that we have to address and some stuff that we got to do, and we are beginning to look like we are moving in that direction. So it's pleasant to be moving forward. I see sometimes I got to step back away from it and see it, but I do see the improvements.
Spoke about Griffin and the freshman, talk about Cairo and
You know what, Cairo is one of my special. I call him more of a friend. We got this little ritual going on. Every Tuesday, he'll go and I'll keep moving kicks back until he begin to miss them, so I can kind of get on him a little bit. And then I always like to end practice on a Tuesday with him missing a kick. So I'll stop it right there. So then he'll go and he'll get mad and he'll be out there all night. And then we'll go in tomorrow and he'll make all of them, and then the world will be good. But he is one of the most competitive young men that you're ever going to find. And he can make any kick in the world. He'll come to me and stand right by me. Hey, coach, look, I can make this. I can make this 57-yarder. Coach, I can make this 62-yarder. He's just like that. But he is probably the most consistent, most valuable guy that we have on the team, because he's consistently kicking the ball out of the end zone. We don't get very many returns, which it helped our special teams so much more. And with the operation between Billy, Cairo, and Rome with the field goals, he's a special player and a great young man. Well, I know he has the foot injury, and I don't want to put a kid in the game with this lingering foot injury, and this, So if we can get to the point where I think we probably are at the point where I know he can't do it, and he can't do it right now. I think I'll definitely consider trying to get his year back. No. It's selfish. It's selfish only. We have a program. I think that when I hired coaches, I thought that this was one of the goals that we would want. Our players who come in here that want to play in the NFL, those are the guys that we want. If they don't want to play in the NFL, they won't have the right amount of savvy to play for us. So that's why I got a lot of guys, a lot of professional football help. Now, just to say that they wanting to play is different than going to play. Another year would help him in this offense, because as you see, we run the same plays as you look at on Airline Highway. But, I think selfishly more than anything, just because, I think with a year in this offense, with a year with all these receivers, in a year with the offensive line developing, we had 4 new starters come back. Just with a year of everything offensively, and then a year with these freshman DBs who they'll give you more turnovers. They become sophomores. The defensive line, we playing with a couple of true freshmen. They'll be better. The linebacker, Zach Davis, first year starting. Dominic Robinson, he was first year starting. They'll be back. He'll have more stuff around him that he could excel, and he could help us win easier.
When you look ahead this week, you've had this stretch of games where teams haven't had a lot of success, honestly, this season, and now you're looking at a pretty formidable Conference USA team. Tell me what you see in them, what you expect from them.
Well, I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna play a good football game. I think this quarterback is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. What he does is he'll look, and then he'll run it. It's hard to prepare for a guy who can throw and run. They got a receiver over here, this number 2, that can fly. He can run. I've told Dawson, Monroe, and all those guys, and Baptiste, just got to stay on top of this guy. He can play. These backs are stocky, the good offensive line. Defensively, they're going to come. They're going to play their scheme. They play a zone scheme. They're going to play it. They play 3-4. We struggled a little bit with this 3-4, and so we just got to give our center some help. But I mean, they're gonna come in and they're gonna play. They're gonna play well. I just think, if Griffin gets hot and we continue to play and improve, we ran the ball a little bit better. All those guys had around 30 yards. We had over 100 yards rushing. We weren't playing from behind the whole day, and so that's just a glimpse of where we're gonna be. But if we could come in and we could, play, start fast, and don't turn the ball over, I think we'll have an interesting football game.
What's going on with Shaq Smith? Did he play last week?
He played a little bit. We felt that Schofield was playing better, and we decided, and we've done this all throughout the year. If a guy's playing better, we'll put him in, and he played better last week, and we're gonna start him again this week.
Which one? Sorry.
Schofield.
That's what I thought you were saying. And then one more final question here is when you look at what Griffin has done to sort of transform the offense, it's kind of, should we be scared about next fall? I mean, when you don't have it and you're looking back at scaling back the playbook, or what can happen between I guess December and next September with
Here's what you got two ways of taking on a challenge. One, you have the quarterback that's been there and everybody else hadn't. Kind of what we had this year. We had the quarterback who had, so much experience and then knew our offense and knew what to do, and everybody else hadn't. So now I think what we have around us, whoever's going to be the quarterback next year, you got everybody around. All the receivers are coming back. All the running backs are back. Most of the offensive line is coming back. The tight ends are back. So you got everything around him. This quarterback doesn't have to make the adjustments in the throws and the reads and change the defenses as much. What will happen is you got guys around you that they're going to make it work. So that'll make it a lot simpler for whoever's the starting quarterback next year.
CJ, the bottom line, must Griffin play like Superman instead of Spider-Man for you guys to really win?
Well, you know what? I think he's been playing like Superman most of the year, and I don't know if it's a must that what we can do. I can tell you what we can do. We can't turn the football over. If we turn the football over, then we're gonna be in trouble. If you look at the games, especially that we've lost big early on, it was turnover. Then when Griff came in, the turnover stopped. They begin to settle down. Now they start to creep up again. So I think if you don't turn it over, and if we can, and I know we can establish a little bit of a running game, I think Griffin will be fine. He'll be great.
Any more questions? Next up.
Would you do anything differently again in the 4 running plays down the goal line?
Here's what I liked. A couple weeks ago, Darkwa came to me and said, "Give me the ball." He said, "Give me the ball." I put it in his hands the first time. We had a poor block. They kind of schemed it, and we didn't get the right angle on the block. The second time, again, it was the same exact situation, and then we kind of let a guy squeeze through. They changed the look up a little bit, and it kind of got us. But if Darkwa come to me again and he says, "Coach, give me the ball," I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna put it in his hands. Thank you.